Welcome to an episode of r/slash Entitled Parents, where we share stories of moms or dads thinking that because they have kids, they are entitled to everything. Kick back and enjoy these several stories we're about to share with you, and at the end, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, on to the stories. And this story is posted by u/max_sings_things. Entitled Mother Gets Told Off by Choir Director. Hey there. So I've been sorting through some of my childhood trauma and felt like this needed to be here. The EM, Entitled Mother, in this case is my own mother. I don't think she was always terrible, but she definitely has her issues. Cast: EM, Entitled Mother, my mom. CD, Choir Director. Me and a couple of my friends, plus my entire high school choir. A bit of backstory. In my junior year of high school, my choir auditioned to be one of the 3 choirs selected to sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City for a 9/11 tribute and memorial thing. We made it in and took the trip in the fall of my senior year. The day we flew out was the same day as an all-state audition, and so a few of the choir members, myself included, and my director stayed behind and took a later flight than the rest of the choir and all the chaperones. My mom was on the earlier flight as she was a chaperone. On to the story. My group landed in NYC and met up with the larger group at our hotel. The first thing that happened was that my friends who had signed up to room with me and my mom, F1 and F2, came to me and told me that my mom had been cussing at people all day. This is significant because my CD hates cussing from anyone. So my CD finds out from another student and asked me to talk to my mom because she had a lot of other things to deal with at the time. I managed to say something, but my mom brushed me off, saying that people get offended way too easily. I am slightly worried, but hopeful that she'll stop. Before we went up to our rooms, we went sightseeing for a bit and then came back to the hotel to sleep. We had a long rehearsal the next day, so it was very important that we sleep. Me, F1, F2, and my mom get to our room. My mom had been up earlier with our luggage, but was just quickly in and out. She hadn't noticed that a window had been left open. The beds were wet and there was some mold. No big deal. The mattresses were dry. We could just call the front desk for new sheets and deal with the mold as we were only there for 3 days anyway. My mom accepted this and called the desk. They offered us a new room free of charge because of the mold. All of the negotiations and stuff took a bit of time because it was late and there weren't many people working at the time. So by the time we packed up and got to our new room, it was almost 2 a.m. We had to be up at 6 to get ready for rehearsal. So me and my friends were just ready to sleep. This is where the EM comes out of my mom. The new room was a bit smaller than our last one. No big deal, right? It was a free switch and didn't have any mold. Nope. My mom was furious that the hotel had transferred us to a smaller room. My friends were exhausted and fell asleep anyway, while my mom called my stepdad, who was not with us on the trip, and told him to call the front desk of our hotel and make them move us to one of the newly renovated rooms. So we did. It took a couple more hours though, and soon we were in yet another room. We had 2 hours until we needed to be awake, and none of us were happy. Several other things happened on this trip. My mom threw a fit at the 9/11 museum because I was hungry and wanted to go with a different group while she stayed and looked around. She wanted me to stay because she held me while it happened and wanted to relive it with me. Keep in mind, we had already been there for an hour and had been in rehearsal all day. She also kept losing track of the students in our group. One of the girls would run off to be in her boyfriend's group, and I was the one that had to keep track of everyone because she couldn't. And she was still cussing through the whole trip. Finally, we were getting off the buses at the airport to go home, and my mom said one last cuss word right behind my CD. My CD, who is usually a very quiet person, whipped around, pointed at my mom, and said, "Don't ever curse in front of my students again." My CD turned back around and ushered us all inside. My mom was trying to laugh it off, saying things like, "What's her problem?" and "I wonder who peed in her Cheerios this morning." I kept telling her to stop and eventually just gave up. We traveled back in the same groups we came with, so I was in the plane with my CD and EM was on a different plane. My CD pulled me aside and apologized for berating my mom in front of my peers. I told her it was fine and that I had to deal with it a lot, so it was nice to see someone stand up to her. I was asked to never bring her on school trips again. And this story is posted by u/the airwoman. EP tries to enter my apartment to measure the bedroom. So this happened 3 years ago. I was renting a basement apartment that I loved. My landlords are great, aunt and uncle of my childhood friend, and I lived there for 3.5 years. Halfway through, they told me they wanted to sell the place, but probably not that soon since the husband was working on a commercial ship 9 months at a time. I just asked them to tell me when they decided to sell. Anyway, 13 to 14 months pass and they decide to start the process. They introduce me to the realtors. Everything gets sorted out. Up to this point, everything is going great. Realtors give me 24-hour notice before they bring buyers. I can stay home during the showings or go about my business. I have no complaints about them or my landlords throughout the entire process. Then one day, I just got back from work and didn't feel like going out again. Realtors came with a family of 5 or 6. It was announced. I just forgot, so I decided to stay. Family consisted of mother, father, adult daughter, and 2 or 3 kids, can't remember. Father was a piece of work. Now, thing is, I lived in a touristy town on the Mediterranean coast. It was summer. People try to pull all sorts of cons here. EF, I know you said someone lived here, but we hope to stay a couple of days to get the feel of the apartment. Realtor, what? This place isn't for rent. OP already lives here. EF, well, I can't buy something just like that, but okay. Obviously, we can't stay the night. Me, sorry, no, you can't. I live here. He moves on, measures things left and right, wondering out loud if their large wardrobe will fit into the bedroom. How he wants to buy an apartment for his daughter because she wants to go to college here. Eventually, they pack up and leave for the beach. I saw them later. Beach was 2 minutes away from the apartment. The next day, there were no scheduled showings, so I decided to do one thing everyone does when they live right next to the beach. Take a nap after work. But before my head even hit the pillow, I hear someone coming down the stairs. There were only 2 basement apartments and my neighbors went away for a week. I get up and go for the door to spy, but before I even made it halfway there, someone rattles the doorknob and then, 10 seconds later, start knocking. I was really confused and freaked out. I go to the door and lo and behold, it's entitled father from yesterday. I do not open my door. Me, who is it? EF, it's me, EF, we were here yesterday. Me, what do you want? EF, I want to measure the space in bedroom to see if my daughter's wardrobe will fit. Me, no, you're not getting in. EF, but I can't buy the place if I don't know. It's for my daughter. Me, then call the realtor. They have all the measurements on file. I'm not letting you in. EF, I'll buy this place and evict you. Me, good luck. I have 3 months left on the lease. You can't do spit about that. My landlords told me that if the place sells before my lease is up, contract will state I can't be evicted before my lease is up. I already had a place lined up. EF starts cussing out and I hear him go away. I called landlords and realtors after that. They were all mortified and worried someone like that just came to my place, tried to let himself in, and threatened to evict me. EF did not buy the apartment after all because landlords refused to ever deal with him again. Realtors told him it was sold. To this day, I believe their plan was to find a place to crash at for a few days for a free vacation under the pretext of buying the place for their daughter. I still had to improvise webcams around the apartment to keep an eye on it while I was at work for the remainder of my stay there. I spent entire summer not feeling safe in my home. And this story is posted by u/-G_S. Entitled dog, parent yells at me because I told her that her pit bull needs to be muzzled. So I, 18 female, work as an office assistant and secretary at a veterinarian office. Since I mostly just check people and schedule appointments and stuff for their pets, I'm not certified in animal care or anything. A few months ago, we had this one lady, let's call her S, come in with her medium-sized pit bull mix. I check her in, and on her dog's file, it says that he has a past history of being aggressive towards the vet and vet techs. This means that he is required to have a muzzle on before going into the room with the vet. This is the conversation that follows. Me, Hey, it looks like dog has a past history of being aggressive toward the vet, so he's going to have a muzzle on before he goes into the room. Do you have one with you? S. No, I don't have a muzzle with me. He won't need one. Me. I'm sorry, ma'am. He is going to have a muzzle on before the vet can look at him. It's the rules. We have some that we can use for the appointment. S. Why is it? Because he's a pit bull? He's just a big baby and wouldn't even hurt a fly. This is discrimination against pit bulls. Me. No, ma'am. It's not because he's a pit bull. His file says he's been aggressive toward the vet before. A lot of dogs don't like the vet, so it's pretty common for them to have to be muzzled, regardless of the breed. We've had to muzzle Chihuahuas before. S. Dog just doesn't like the vet to be touching him or messing with his body parts. Just tell vet not to do that and he won't bite like last time. Me. Ma'am, how is the vet supposed to do his job if he can't touch dog? He needs to make sure everything is working right. S. I don't care. My dog is not going to be muzzled and that's final. You are discriminating against my little baby dog because he is a pit bull. I can't believe that I am facing this kind of harassment for owning a pit bull at a vet's office, for God's sake. We went back and forth like this for a while. I kept telling her that her dog isn't going to see the vet until he has a muzzle on, and she kept telling me he didn't mean it and that I was saying that he is aggressive because he's a pit bull. Eventually, she put a muzzle on the dog, and he apparently acted fine and non-aggressive with the muzzle on, but since he was aggressive once without the muzzle, he will still have to be muzzled for future appointments. She ended up filing a complaint against me because I was discriminating against her and her dog, but it never really went anywhere. She has another appointment next week, so that's going to be fun. This has been TNA Top Notch Audio. 3 great funny stories. And my question to you is, which one of these stories are your favorites and why? Share your comments below, and also don't forget to subscribe so you can get notification of more videos in the future. Have yourselves a great day.